Welcome to Mondays with Mark. If you're watching on Facebook, please share our program so all your friends can watch along with you. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure and subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a Mondays with Mark. And this week over at marklowry.com, all single CDs, every single CD, not in a bunch, but a single. It's $10 each through 11/4/19. $10 each over at marklowry.com. Hello, Colleen.
Hey, Mark.
Where are your glasses?
Oh, I just put them aside for tonight.
Because your mama said don't wear them?
Yeah, she said don't wear them.
Gaynell, quit telling her what to wear. I love that sweet Gaynell. In fact, we went to her church. What are you pinching me for?
Oh, Lord.
Hey, everybody. A happy Monday. First of all, happy Monday to you. A happy Monday to you. Philip's not here. Philip's on a cruise. He's left us high and dry. So
Lucky Philip.
Lucky Philip, yeah. But we won't have any piano playing tonight. I could pull it. Do you play the piano?
No.
Why?
I just never would take well, Mother tried to give me lessons, and I, played around, and I'd just do it by ear when I would go to my music teacher, and so Mother just kind of gave up on it, us learning.
Well,
because I'd rather be out playing than
sneaking off
practicing.
watching TV next door.
Yes.
And now there's a TV in every room.
Yes,
I love
is.
that. So we went, Colleen and I went to Port Neches, Texas this weekend to Philip Badair's mother's house. We're on Friday nights, and I've heard about this for quite some time and been wanting to go. They have a sing-along in their home. People from their church and different churches, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly United Pentecostal.
I think so, yeah.
But there are quite a few United Pentecostal churches down in that part of Texas. And so they had, 7 or 8 people?
That came that night, yeah.
And sometimes they say up to 20.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was just great. I wish we could have recorded more there. Watch this. This is a little bit from there. And you'll see Philip. First of all, they have an organ and a keyboard. And by the way, what was the name of that fella? Hold on one second.
Butch Morgan.
Butch Morgan, is that what it is?
Butch Morgan, yes.
Butch Morgan. Yeah, Butch Morgan. This fella killed that keyboard. Of course, it'd be easy to have, like they said, if you had those kind of musicians in your church that would want to come play this kind of music. But I think it'd be fun every Friday night to have people from the church come over and sing the old hymns. And this is a little clip of that night.
I want to know more. I want to know more about my Jesus. I want to know more about my Lord.
Anyway.
That was so fun.
And I'm glad you're all coming in. Hello, Karen McBride. That's my kind of singing, she says. And Sharon Crock. Who else is on there? Love the old hymns. I do, too. Gosh, they go by so fast. Love the old. Let's see if I can get that up. That's too high.
I was looking through those hymnals, and I just had forgotten all of those good old songs that we used to sing when I was a kid.
Anna Lovell says, "You look so pretty, Colleen."
Oh, thank you.
Anna, that's so sweet. Weren't those ladies sweet last week?
Oh, I love them. Let's do a shout out for Virginia, LaRue, and Ginger. We had so much fun after the show. We just sat and talked and bonded, and it was a great evening.
Yeah. She's a school teacher like you.
Mm-hmm. Well, they both are educators. Ginger was a counselor and probably a teacher before that, but we just had so much to talk about, and
it was fun.
We had a really good time.
Hello on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, watching you from Arizona. Hello, Linda Skipper. And y'all, we don't have a piano player tonight, so we can't do any singing, but Tim Miner's here. And what I did, I recorded. He's not here in the studio, but I recorded him the day after the Dove Awards. I went to his house, and we had a good time. Chip Davis was there. Hello, Chip. I hope you're watching. Chip Davis was there, sings. Oh, what a singer Chip is. And so we try to do a little trio. Now, we didn't rehearse, because I'm not really into rehearsing. And when you hear this, you'll say, Mark, you really should have rehearsed. Those two, they know their parts, but I'm hunting it,
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm sure it sounds great.
It was fun.
But let's talk more about our weekend,
Yeah.
So we said, when we told Mother we were coming, I said, we'll just get something to eat. We'll just grab a bite to eat somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we got there, and I said, but, some greens and cornbread would really be good.
Oh, yeah, you put the guilt on her.
But Mother, don't go to any trouble.
Yeah.
So she texts me during the day and says, I've cooked. And I told her, why? But what'd you cook?
Smothered pork chops. Mm-hmm. What else?
Greens, hot water
cornbread, fried,
What else? Okra and potatoes.
Corn
and rice.
Everything we love.
Everything. It was so good, Mother.
It was so. Thank you for doing that, Gaynell. Hello from the Smoky Cal. Oh yeah, y'all pray for everybody out in California. All those pray for the firemen. California is on fire. And the Fiji Islands. Hello, beautiful Nellie from Fiji Islands. Well, listen, Tim, Dave, what else can we... Oh, I wanted to talk about something, because I was getting cleaned up before the show. And we do this show every Monday. And you really hunt for things to talk about, And I want them to invent underwear that doesn't roll down at the top. When you bend over, to pull your britches up.
Oh, my Lord.
I want them to come up with some kind of underwear on Shark Tank that when you lean over, it doesn't just roll up like a
blind one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of you young people get to work on that.
Well, that might be something you could do on your retirement.
Yeah. Hey, next week we're going to have another Pentecostal hoedown, y'all. It's going to be fun. The singers, all the Pentecostal singers will be here.
Oh, wow.
Bubba McNeely, of course, Vincent Powell, Bill and Renee Morris are coming.
Wow.
That would be something. She can play the keyboard. Mm-hmm. Jana be there. Of course, Philip will be back from his cruise. And so you don't want to miss that. Well, should we get to our special guest? Can you think of anything else? Oh, how were the brats today?
They were good. Today was a
grade?
Good day, yeah. I had to do a little rearranging in my class last week, and it's worked out. So I think the rest of the year will be run a little more smooth than we've had a little rocky roads, but it's better now. So.
Well, good. Fourth grade, and then you're going to be off the road, and then maybe maybe we'll just take Mondays with Mark on the road. Should we?
That sounds fun.
Should we come to y'all's? The underwear suspenders. That's a good idea. Chief New York. Try underwear suspenders. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Oh my, I've never heard of that.
I don't think I have either. Well, he probably just made that up. All right, here is our... Wait, okay. No, not that. Here we go. Tim Miner. Here we are at the Miner Mansion. I have no castle. Hello! I am in the Tim Miner Mansion. Tim Miner, y'all will remember back in the... Well, if you're raised in Christian music like I was, you remember in the 80s?
80s.
Oh, but let's start first. You were a preacher's kid.
Yes.
In what city, Oklahoma?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. And you come from how many generations?
I'm fourth generation. So my great-grandfather was an AG pastor. My grandfather...
Assemblies
my
of
dad,
God.
Yes, my dad. And I was the heathen. I just went and sang Christian music. I didn't, go to Springfield and...
Get the degree?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you should?
Well, I didn't, but my grandfather was very disappointed. You know, he was like, you know, until he came out to one of my concerts. I think we were at Oklahoma Baptist University, and however many people that auditorium seated, and I gave an altar call that night, and my grandfather saw all these kids come down, and after the show, he said, I still don't like the music.
Yeah.
He said, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, in his way, and basically gave me his, you know, approval of what I was doing in ministry.
Yeah, my dad would say, I just know, I know what I like. And I said, well, you like what you know. And we all do. We like what we were raised on, you know.
Yes.
But so how did you get from being the preacher's kid, rebellious preacher's kid into music, to working with Whitney and all these Motown people? Tell me that story.
Well, I did. So I signed my first record deal at 15, moved from Oklahoma to California, scared to death. I was such a good kid because I was so scared of, like, graffiti scared me, being out there. So I literally, at my first job was I did all the grunt work at this recording studio where I met everybody. Toto and Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, and everyone recorded at the studio. And I was the guy that got coffee and, you know, swept up after everyone left. And the rules were, do not speak to anyone unless they talk to you. So I would just keep my head down and do my work. And one of those days I was doing that, and it was after a Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson day in the studio, and it was just Quincy listening to mixes of the day. And he said, hey kid, come here. He said, talk to me, tell me your story. Where are you from? And I went through the whole thing, and he said, wow, that is unbelievable. He said, so you moved here from Oklahoma? I said, yes, sir. And anyway, he said, he goes, look, I'm going to give you my number. He goes, let's exchange numbers and let's talk. And slowly a relationship budded out of that thing. And he one day just goes, look, you tell everyone that Quincy is your godfather.
Oh.
Tell them I'm your godfather. And he just gave me advice. He took me under his wing. I did what he said. People, I'd be like,
And you were how old then?
15.
Okay, so how did you get from there to Sparrow? When I first discovered you at Estes Park with the mullet.
So the studio was owned by Bob Cotton.
Okay.
And Bob and Judith were the ones that started Nisi Records. And so me, Phil Keggy, Lisa Welchel, Andres Blackwood and Company, we were the first 4 artists on that label, distributed by Sparrow.
Okay.
When Nisi folded, Sparrow absorbed me and Phil Keggy. And so that's kind of how I got there to Sparrow.
And your first song was Forgiven?
Forgive Me.
Forgive Me.
Yes.
And you sang it. What? Tell me that story.
So,
or am I jumping ahead?
You're jumping ahead a little bit. That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's
no,
okay.
Go back. Fill in the please.
So you know, so I'd had 2 albums out at that point that were distributed and came out through Sparrow. Then I ended up getting signed to Frontline Records, which was Jimmy Kempner. And so it was me, Crystal Lewis, John Gibson, Preachers in Disguise, like the first rap records, all of that stuff, heavy metal records, were all with Frontline. And so I ended up going to that label, and I was booked to sing at this BMI showcase at the Hollywood Palladium. And I had this song called Forgive Me that was just acoustic guitar and orchestra. And so I thought I was going to be this featured guest, but what I figured out later was that I was the music while they changed the band setting behind the curtain. So when I'm singing at the Palladium, literally I had a foot before I fell off the stage, and then there was a curtain behind me and a mic stand and my little cassette TV track.
Wow.
And I started, when the song came in, it was just acoustic guitar. People were doing all kinds of crazy things. Like I saw people snorting coke on the tables in front of me and drinking and whatever. All of a sudden, just this hush went all over the Palladium. 3,000 people at the Hollywood Palladium, just like you could hear a pin drop. And at the end of it, I walk off stage. I didn't know if that was good or bad, or if I was going to get the Apollo, you know. But it was just silent. And when I came off the stage, one of Stevie Wonder's assistants said Stevie was up in the VIP section, he would like to meet with you tomorrow, and Motown is across the street. So the Berry Gordy Company was on the 19th floor, and then Motown had 18 and 17.
Wow.
The next morning, I'm there meeting with them, and they're like, we have to have you on the label. And Stevie was like, we have this opportunity to erase the color lines. If you come here, he said, we can do this together. We can be a part of that. And
That's
so
great.
They ended up buying my deal away from Frontline.
And that's the last we heard of you in CCM. You were gone into the world.
I was like, I'm gone.
Bye-bye, babies.
Yes.
But you went out and you did wonderful things. I mean,
It was just like between that happening in my life and Quincy opening doors, and there were just so many incredible things, and Stevie opening doors, and a great man named Gerald Busby, who's not with us any longer, who discovered many. He was like another Clive Davis.
yeah.
Those men opened doors, and
And don't you think you ministered to people along the way? I mean, I think so.
Well, it just changed. Like my field changed.
Yeah.
Like I was planting in this ocean of Christendom where there were plenty of people.
Plenty of people.
Planting and sowing and reaping from that.
And every now and then God opens the door for one of them to go out into the, into the harvest field.
Yeah.
And they get criticized by all the ones back in the...
Well, hey, so did we. I remember Jimmy Swaggart, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Held up my album and Stryper's album and talked about how we were wolves in sheep's clothing and all of that. And our record sales spiked.
Really?
Through the roof. Like it was the best thing that ever happened for me, because it was, I think kids were like, well, if he doesn't like it, then it must be cool, so we got to go get it. And yeah, it's like it helped us. It kind of pushed us out there. Now, and I know you know this too, because you kind of burned trails and blazed trails for people like me, you and Michael and Amy and you, Larnell, and all those. That was, I mean, think about how contemporary that was when you guys came onto the scene. That was very contemporary.
Oh my gosh, you see me totally different than I see me.
Well,
I see you as like up there with Amy and all that. I mean, I was the Southern Gospel boy, right? I love Southern Gospel, and I kind of.
But you were cool. Southern Gospel.
Well, I think Gaither did cool stuff. But
yes.
y'all had the right kind of mullet, man. There was something about
the achy, breaky, mistakey.
And so, for how many years? Around 80, what did you go with Motown?
Motown was 91, and I did one album there for Motown, and then I just started producing and writing for everyone. Al Green, and then Al Green turned into Steve Perry from Journey, and then that turned into Paula Abdul, and then Whitney and Mariah, and all those things. Brian McKnight, all of those things came. Just who's the one that did that song, and I would raise my it's me in the corner, I did that, and they were like, okay, we want to work with you. And so it was just like the favor of God just continued to multiply those things. And so I never really wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to write and produce for other people. Yeah, I wanted to be in a band. I know. I wanted to be in a band.
This is one of the best voices I know. I follow you on Instagram, which you have a private Instagram. Thank you for letting me follow you. But every now and then you'll just sit there and play. Like you played a song the other day you wrote for a friend's wedding.
Yes.
And I love how you love your children.
Yes,
Let me tell you something. I know you're in love with Jesus just because I see how you love your children. There's something, I mean, that father, son. And do you think you were able along the way to encourage some of those people to know Jesus?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember with Steve Perry, he said, I would love for you to, I asked him, I said, I would love for you to come to a church service with me. And he said, I tell you what, he said, I'll go to your church service if you'll come to an AA meeting with me. And I said, great, done deal. So I go to this AA meeting, and it was just like church.
Yeah.
They say the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
They take up an offering. They have testimony service. Yeah. Hi, I'm an alcoholic. Whatever they do, they do that whole thing. So I told Steve, I said, it's exactly like church. Like you guys are a little more informal and it's over quicker. But I said, it's the same thing. So I was, I was at that point traveling with an evangelist friend of mine that we started a Hollywood Bible study, also a guy named Tim. And
Tim Davis?
Tim Story.
Okay.
And Tim says, I told Tim, I said, look, I'm working on Steve Perry's new solo project. We're in San Francisco where Steve lived in Marin County. I said, and I want to bring him to Seattle to our meeting at Casey Treat's church. And so we ended up going up to Seattle, and Steve's up in the he didn't want anyone to know who he was, so he was up in the rafters looking down, and I did my thing, and Tim has never done this before. My buddy, he starts crowd surfing, laying hands on people. I mean, it's just out of control. Like I've never seen it. Like stage diving is going on, and I look up and see Steve, and his eyes are like this big around, like, oh my God, what is going on? Yeah. And so afterwards, we go to a Denny's, and we're sitting there talking about all of it. And he's like, man, it's just crazy. It's like a rock concert and whatever. So we fly back to Dallas to my studio at the time, and we're sitting in my driveway. And Steve said, man, he goes, the only thing I kind of have a problem with is the Jesus thing. You guys are saying that's the door I have to go through. He goes, that's the only problem I have with this whole Christian thing. And I said, well, you know the prayer you guys say at your AA meeting? He goes, that prayer saved my life. Yeah. I said, guess who authored that prayer? And guess what he was about to do after he said that prayer? Yeah. And I said, he said that prayer, and then he got on a cross and died. And man, that's all it took. I'm getting chilled on talking about it.
Don't you love it?
In my driveway at my home in Dallas, I led Steve Perry to the Lord right there. And he accepted Christ that day, and is still going strong. And that's been, I think it was just the 25th anniversary of that album coming out that I did on him. And so yes, to answer your question, it's not
great story.
It's not in this big arena, but at the one-on-one stuff, yeah, that happens all the time.
I love it.
I've been raised in the perfect surroundings. Go to church once a week, sometimes two. Lord, I wanna be what you want me to be, but often sin represents all I do. I don't even know why your mercy never dies, but I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. Your spirit always seems to grab me just before I go over the edge. And what I can't understand is why you're to forgive me once again. Cleanse me. Forgive me once again. Cover me, oh, 'cause I don't even know why your mercy never dies. But I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. I need the every hour. Oh, precious Lord, no tender voice like thine could peace afford. And oh, I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee, and I don't even know why your mercy never dies. But I'm glad. Oh, yes, I am. Lord, I'm glad. Hey, Jesus, I'm glad. Ooh, I'm That's my dad up there with Nancy Harmon.
Are you kidding?
So Nancy Harmon and her choir were on one side of the album, and my dad and his choir were on the other.
Isn't that something? So your parents...
You remember Kenny Foreman?
Yeah.
That was his church that they recorded the album live in 1960, whatever it was. My dad, full-blooded Hawaiian, had signed with RCA the same time Elvis was there, and comes out of a recording session in LA and walks across the street to a Bud Chambers tent revival. Goes over there, gets radically saved, goes back to RCA and says, I'm not going to sing, I'm not going to make albums for you guys. God's called me to preach the gospel. His first revival is in Oklahoma at my grandfather's church, and sees my 17-year-old mother on the piano, and that's how Hawaii met Oklahoma.
Okay.
Is that crazy?
And created you.
That's me in my grandfather's church when I was 3. Can you see that in a little red suit?
Oh my goodness. Right there.
Lord, humbly I pray for your grace another day. Sometimes it's hard to lift my head, and Lord, as long as you're with me, I know that I will be able to handle Make everything I say bring glory to your name, Jesus. Make everything I do bring glory to the name of Jesus, to the name of Jesus. Hey. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord God, my Father. Right?
There is no
shadow
turning with thee.
of turning from thee.
Thou changest
not. Who put this song in this key? Think about it. Great is thy faithfulness,
Oh
God, my Father. There is no
shadow of turning with thee.
Of turning from thee.
Thou changest not.
Thou changest not.
Thy compassion.
They fail not.
As thou hast
been thou
forever will be.
Shall be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see.
Sing, y'all.
All I have need of thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Chip, you come play.
Morning and noon. What is it? Da-da.
Oh, I got
Got a verse. Go.
Pardon
Yes.
for sin
And a peace.
and a peace that endureth. Thy own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all mine and with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
You know, if we rehearsed,
We'd be pretty good.
we'd be good.
Can you go to B flat? 'Tis so sweet.
Oh, yes.
To trust in Jesus, just to switch smoothly. To trust Him. You sing the second verse. Let me sit there.
This is so much fun.
Ready?
Oh, how sweet.
Come on.
To trust in Jesus, just to trust His cleansing blood, just in simple faith to plunge me 'neath the healing cleansing blood. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I proved Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus. Oh, for grace to trust Him more.
Mark, sing the last verse, King.
I'm so glad that I've learned to trust Him. Precious Jesus, Savior, friend, and I know that Thou art with me. You will be with me till the end. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus. Oh, for grace to trust Him more.
I love that one. Well, y'all, that was fun. We should have rehearsed, but it was kind of fun.
It was good.
I was kind of anointed at times.
Yeah, you really
And I was
felt
just,
it.
she asked me, said, who's holding the microphone? I mean, the camera. It was me. I was holding the camera up like this.
And singing and
Trying to hear my part. Those guys, they just go to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're brilliant. Thank you. I've been reading the comments, haven't we? We've been reading the comments.
Oh yeah, we've been reading.
A prison. They said there was somebody that is watching in prison. I heard you guys. God bless you. You can be just as free in prison as people who are outside of prison if you know the Lord, because you're free. He set us free, free indeed, no matter where you are. And I love that you're watching. We're all over the world, Australia, Brazil. It's so cool that everybody's watching, Colleen.
I know.
We've
It's
even been
crazy.
recognized a few times.
We have.
In Port Neches,
We did.
at the Mexican restaurant after church.
After church.
I could not believe I hadn't been that recognized in a long time. But it was so... Anyway, y'all, before we go, because this has been a fun night, and I won't see you again till next Monday, but unless I decide to drop in. But before we go, I want Chip Davis, my buddy Chip, to sing There Is a Fountain. This is sort of his song. Someone asked, is this the same Chip Davis who sang on the Tuesday nights with Reba and Donnie at the river? And it is the same Chip Davis. And he would always sing this. Of course, I asked him if he'd sing it for me so I could play it on Mondays with Mark. And thank you all. I'm still reading your comments. Thank y'all for tuning in. Here's old Chip singing There Is a Fountain Filled with Blood.
There is a fountain from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains. The dying thief rejoiced to see that fountain in his day, and there may I though violently wash all my sins away, ere since by faith I saw that stream, thy flowing wounds supply, redeeming love has been my theme, and it shall be till I die, and shall be till I die, it shall be till I die. Redeeming love has been my theme, and shall be till I die. There is a fountain filled with blood, drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains.
Thank you for tuning in to Mondays with Mark. We'll see you next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, right here, wherever you saw our program. YouTube, be sure and like us and ring the bell. Facebook, please share our program. And we will see you next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, for another Mondays with Mark.